United States Secretary of State Mr. Mike Pompeo's push for the Indo Pacific. In 3 days between 26th and 28th of October, United States Secretary of State Mr. Mike Pompeo gave a massive push to the Indo Pacific strategy of the country, visiting 3 major countries in the region. India, the key strategic partner of the United States and holding the pivotal position geographically as well as from the political, diplomatic and military point of view in this region, was the first where Pompeo made his stop and also had the 2+2 meetings. This was followed by a visit to Sri Lanka, the island nation on the edge of the Indian subcontinent, and then again the atoll or the Maldives further south. During these visits, Pompeo emphasized on sustained support from the United States to these countries, be it in terms of recovery and assistance in COVID-19, expanding the Indo-Pacific footprint and a joint effort to ensure stability and security in the region, increasing defense and security cooperation, economic and trade facilitation, and finally also the people-to-people engagement. In India, Mr. Pompeo participated in the 2+2 dialogue with his counterpart in the Secretary of Defense, Dr. Mark Esper, and also the Indian Foreign and Defense Ministers, Dr. S. Jaishankar and Mr. Rajnath Singh respectively. During this 2+2 dialogue, the points emphasized were COVID-19 management and cooperation, Indo-Pacific expansion, and joint approach to stability and security, including a commitment for international rule of law and a maritime safety and security. Defense and security cooperation was emphasized, which has multiple facets extending from exercises, the trade, innovation in the industry, and so on. Cyber and terrorism, counterterrorism cooperation was also one of the factors, and they are now also expanding the people-to-people relationship. Having concluded the India visit, which also included a meeting with the Prime Minister, Mr. Narendra Modi, Mr. Pompeo then departed for Sri Lanka. Here he had an engagement with the President, Mr. Gotabaya Rajapaksa, followed by the dialogue with the Foreign Minister, Mr. Dinesh Gunawardene. It was emphasized that the two countries have a large expansion in the trade, maritime cooperation, security and defense, and so on. The bilateral engagement is going to be expanding over a period. It is also mentioned that the sovereign, free and independent nation as Sri Lanka will like to continue its own foreign policy, and towards that end it was emphasized that this will be Sri Lanka's tack. Possibly Sri Lanka is wary of how the visit sees, how China sees the visit by the US Secretary of State at a particular point of time. As far as the United States Secretary of State visit to Maldives goes, he was well received there and had an audience with President Soli, where he made his courtesy call, and thereafter he continued to have a joint discussion with his counterpart, the Foreign Minister Abdullah Shahid. During this discussion, it was emphasized the Maldives identified that the key role that is to be played by the United States in the Indian Ocean particularly in promoting security and stability, as also the stronger partnership that Maldives and the United States will have to promote security in the region was underlined, including countering terrorism. All in all, is the round of visits that he has conducted to the key states in the Indian Ocean region, India, Sri Lanka and Maldives, reaffirmed the United States' commitment to the Indo Pacific strategy and to support the three countries in a uniform way. At the same time, it has to be seen how much actionable influence the visit has in the near future, given the US presidential elections which are scheduled on the 3rd of November, and possibly following that will be a review that will be undertaken by the new administration, whether it's Mr. Trump in the second term or Mr. Biden getting a new term as such. Nevertheless, there is a bilateral consensus of commitment of the United States